Different people have different opinions about research. Let's have a glance at what is actually research. The term research in its simplest generic meaning refers to an act of searching with intensive force. In more academic terms, it is a systematic and logical process of in-depth investigation into a certain issue. Thereby, research intends to provide scientific explanations of the nature and properties of the reality. Further, it makes practical applications of knowledge possible. Research is not only supported by existing theories, but also backed by empirical evidences. So in this sense, we have knowledge on the one hand and research as the process to gain knowledge on the other hand, like the two sides of the same coin. Though research is a knowledge creation process, not all knowledge is created through research. What is fascinating about research is that the knowledge generated through research can be verified for its truthfulness by replicating the research. This is because research is usually done objectively based on a replicable structural process. This implies that the scientific knowledge created through research is falsifiable. Therefore, scientific knowledge is more dynamic and keeps evolving. While new knowledge is created, some of the existing knowledge is falsified and discarded. The traditional knowledge in many cases is transferred orally from generation to generation. This oral tradition faces the challenge of accurate transmission and verifiability of the original version. However, scientific knowledge is tied to a tradition of written communication. Since these modes of knowledge transfer is more open and accessible to wider audience, scientific knowledge is transferred rapidly across the globe. Nevertheless, the nature and properties of research depends on the researcher's worldview. Realism and relativism can be taken as two opposing extremes. There are multiple worldviews in between these two extremes, sharing the characteristics of each stream to different degrees. While realists argue in favor of a single, objective reality, the relativists argue in favor of multiple, socially constructed realities. At the same time, there are multiple viewpoints on the knowledge creation process as well. While positivists rely on more objective processes of knowledge creation based on quantitative approaches, interpretivists who embrace a subjective nature of knowledge creation rely more on humanistic qualitative approaches. For example, natural sciences seems to generally believe in realism and rely on more positivistic approaches for investigation. Social sciences, on the other hand, believe more on relativism and rely more on interpretivistic approach for investigation. This can be depicted on a two-dimensional matrix. Here, belief on the nature of knowledge represents the first dimension. This is commonly known as ontological assumption. The belief on the nature of knowledge creation process represents the second dimension. This is commonly called as epistemological assumption. We can locate all worldviews, commonly known as paradigms, in this two-dimensional matrix mainly based on their specific ontological and epistemological assumptions. Despite the differences in perspectives, research is making the world a better and better place to live. Research helps discovering new methods, new technologies, new products like new medicines, patterns of human behavior, nature of human mind, and many more things to make the living more comfortable. Universities and academics in general take the leading role in research. In fact, the research strength is one of the commonly used performance indicators for universities. Research usually requires sophisticated equipment, resources, commitment of researchers, so on and so forth. For that, universities frequently partner with other institutions. Through these partnerships, the universities gain required resources, while the other partner institutions, particularly from the private sector, benefit through sharing the newly created knowledge, which potentially has commercial applications. Universities, on the other hand, take the leading role in disseminating scientific knowledge. It may be in the form of teaching and learning, or it may be through conferences, symposia, or various other forms of written publications. In summary, research is an indispensable element of modern society which leads the world towards excellence.